Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what almost every high achiever struggles with, and that's being present in the moment and focusing on what we can control. Now, as high achievers, we often get caught up in the what ifs. And if we're being honest, a lot of us tend to be a little bit of control freaks. We want to have every single detail mapped out. We want to plan out every single outcome. And while that ambition is powerful, it can also get in the way. We end up focusing on things that we can't control and letting the fear of the unknown hold us back and distract us from what's right in front of us. So to kick this whole thing off, I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit of a story. Back in 2016, I was preparing for my first powerlifting competition. And for that competition that was out in Las Vegas, it wasn't a huge meet. It was only about 80 or 90 lifters. They posted all of the lifters that was gonna be in that competition. And what did I do? I went and I looked up every single one of those lifters, their past lifting competitions, if they had an Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. I wanted to go see what everybody was doing. And what did I find out? Man, some of those guys were ridiculously strong, right? Like, I would not only look at guys in my weight class, but look at guys all across the different weight classes. So guys I wasn't technically going to be competing against, but guys that, you know, you still compete for what's called the best lifter, who has the highest amount of weight lifted towards their body weight. And I was blown away. I was so impressed about how strong some of these guys were. I mean, some of these guys were squatting enormous amounts of weight, you know, close to 700 pounds. Some of these guys were benching well into 400s, close to 500. Some of these guys were deadlifting over 700, and I was absolutely blown away. And I started to think to myself, am I even really ready for this? Are my current lifts even good enough? Am I even going to place with inside of my weight class? I was so focused on everybody else and what they were doing, I started to forget how great I even was and all the things that I have accomplished in my own individual fitness journey and all the work that I put in throughout the years. So I stopped looking at a lot of stuff. I got off of Instagram. I stopped researching all those competitors because at the end of the day, honestly, I couldn't even control how those guys were going to show up that day, how strong they were not going to be, how mentally prepared they were going to do. That was not in my circle of control. So I focused just on myself and preparing the best that I could. And what happened? I went to that competition. Not only did I win my weight class, I had the highest total out of everybody else in the entire meet by, I believe it was about 100 pounds. So I blew everybody out, and I was like kind of blown away. It was like, how did this even happen? Like, I was looking at some of these guys who were doing so much more than me in certain individual lifts, but their total lifts was nowhere even close to mine when you put it together. So that was kind of like one of the first times that I learned the lessons that if you just focus on your individual journey, you focus on the things of which you can control, you focus on just being the best that you could possibly believe, then you just let the chips fall where they may. In my experience in life, 10 times out of 10, you'll come out on top, you'll come out on head. It's when we start to focus on the other people, our competition, the people that are running the race alongside with us, things that we cannot control, is when we start to actually go back in that process and we do not progress ourselves. Now, why am I sharing this story with you? Because if you're consistently looking at others or stressing over the things outside of your control, you're not giving yourself a fair shot of success. You're robbing yourself of this present moment, which is the only place you have real control over. And here's the truth. The only moment you control is right now. So here's what I want you to take away from this. This moment right now is the only moment that you truly have control over ever. And every time you bring your focus back to this present, you're setting yourself up for real growth. And you're building the foundation rooting in confidence and resilience without letting external pressures pull you off course. So here's what I encourage you to do. Number one, focus on the present. And whatever you're doing, training, work, family, bring your attention to the moment that you're in and don't get lost in what might happen or worry about what other people are doing. Number two, concentrate on what you can control. You can't control other people's strengths, opinions, or the future, but you can control how you show up today and how you put in work and how you respond to challenges. And also, I want to recommend 2 books that have been absolute game changers for myself and for my clients. Number one is The Power of Now. This book is all about finding peace in the present moment. This book teaches you how much power there is in letting go of the past failures and future anxieties and really tuning in into the here and now. And number 2 is The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. This book dives deep into understanding that inner voice, that critic that always is comparing and doubting. And Singer teaches you how to step back from that mental chatter and live with more clarity and peace. Now, if you're an ambitious guy, someone who is always setting goals and pushing forward, Remember this, the real power is in the present, focusing on what you can control right now and letting go of the rest. And this is something that's helped me tremendously and all of my coaching clients to help them go up to the next level. And mind you, these are individuals that are already killing in their life, but as I've talked about already, as ambitious, high achieving guys, we're always focused typically on the next goal or the next things, and that could project us out into the future. And while that may be good, it also causes a tremendous amount of stress and anxiety, and we're not actually giving it our all to create that future because our mind is already in the future, focusing on all these things that may or may not exist. So please take a look at those 2 books, read it, make sure that it's something that's in you, not just on you, so it's ingrained into your subconscious, and live in this present moment so you can elevate and ascend to the next level. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember, growth happens in this moment, so stay focused, stay grounded, and keep pushing forward.